I, Gregory Priest, am honored to impart some knowledge from the ages for this most venerable bird. Long before humans ever set foot upon this continent, some 20 million years ago, a remarkable creature was taking shape. The turkey, a bird most elegant and absurd, proud and cautious, first emerged here in the vast and varied landscape of North America. Over the millennia, these birds would come to play a most unexpected role, not merely as part of the natural order, but as a symbol woven deep into the fabric of a nation's identity. Although we may never know if turkeys truly graced the very first Thanksgiving table, their connection to that storied feast is undeniable. From those early colonial days to the present, they have stood as one of the great emblems of American tradition and a reminder of how nature and culture intertwined. I bid you good day.
What's up, LA?
What's up, LA?
Welcome to the November episode of What's Up, LA, your guide to everything that's happening in the LA arts community. This is our special Veterans Day month episode. And also, what are you thankful for this month, Brian, because of Thanksgiving?
Well, what I'm thankful for this year is, I am thankful for the Blue Door. I'm thankful for creativity. I'm thankful for the family that we have here and that we are able to share art with the greater LA community.
Mine is not nearly as poetic.
Well, I'm sure it's fine. Go for it.
I'm thankful for books, I'm thankful for art, and I'm thankful for my boyfriend.
Lucky guy.
What's up, LA? What's up, LA? What's up, LA? What's up, LA?
Up next, here's my interview with Annie Brown, who is the mighty brush behind this art project, highlighting the best of food options here in local downtown Culver City. I'm finally here with Annie Brown, and we are sharing a meal and also sharing a conversation. Thank you, Annie, so much for replying my email.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.
I want to know.
Yeah.
Because I found you already super late in the process. You already have your big exhibit coming up in November. I want to know how you found out that this was a thing that was possible.
So actually a friend of mine and we both got grants and this was my idea. So I love to eat out, and at the time my husband and I lived in downtown Culver, so we were eating out a lot because it's very easy over
so
there.
Many options.
There's so many options. And especially after the pandemic, it was really hard for small businesses and restaurants. And so we were like, okay, we want to do something, or I want to do something that would help all these businesses that I already like going to.
It's such an incredibly creative, think outside the box idea that I'm sure people were like, there is no way, this is genius, so it must be a scam.
Originally, because I'm so used to teaching classes, I thought, I'll just teach a workshop for free or something. And then I realized, no, that is something I get to do all the time. I love doing it, but this is my opportunity to get money to do something that I never would have gotten able to do. How can I use this as a platform to do something that I'm excited about? And when I started thinking about it that way, that's when I was like, okay, I love these restaurants. They are closing. I want to do something. All I can do is make art for them. I can't just give them my money that I got. So how can I do that? And I actually had been painting a lot of food recently anyway, so it was kind of visually something that I've been thinking about. So yeah, that's when I came up with the idea to paint dishes from a selection of restaurants, and then have postcards made so that they can use them as advertising or sell them or whatever they want to do with them.
Sharing a meal doesn't stay in a beautiful artwork. It goes beyond, and Annie found a way to make sure these institutions and restaurants and this community and this city reap the benefits of her talent that she put in service of her community. So when you go to the exhibit, you're going to be able to get these postcards, and with that, each set sold donates $3 to LA Regional Food Banks. Annie, one last invitation to everybody who's watching to come check out the exhibit.
Yes, so the exhibit is going to be at Village Well Bookstore, which I'm very excited about. Another small business on November 7th from 6 to 8 p.m. It'll be a great time. There won't be food. People keep asking me that because I want you to go eat at the restaurants before or after. So there will be beverages, but make reservations at one of the 8 participating restaurants.
Because how could you not after seeing that? I'm a seafood girly, so
That pasta was so good.
immediately, I'm there.
That is actually one thing I learned, is that when I was talking to these restaurants, I asked them, what do you want me to paint? Because I don't want to paint something that you're going to take off your menu in a month. Like, tell me what you want to
What's
be
your
selling more
banger?
of,
What's
what
your
looks good? Yeah, like what's visually appealing. And so I didn't pick the food. And so I got to try all of this food that I never would have thought. Like, I did not think of myself as a seafood pasta gal. And I tried that bowl, and it like blew my mind.
A new woman.
So good, a new woman. And it really has changed things. Like, I will go out to other restaurants and be like, well, I know I actually like, mussels in my tomato broth. Yeah. So it's been very fun for me, and my husband loves it because I'm like, this meal's on me, babe.
I'm sure he's benefiting
Yes.
tremendously.
Big fan. Yeah.
See, a woman that put her art in the service of her community, and it is awesome. I will see you at the Village Well.
Amazing.
Thank you so much for lending us your studio to do this, and it was so great to meet you, and I'll see you on November 7th.
Thank you so much.
All right, everybody, we are here with our next guests. I'm so excited to introduce a couple of my dear friends and my favorite veterans. Obviously, this is November. Veterans Day is in November, and veterans are a huge part of Arts Up LA with our Veterans Empowerment Theater program. So I'm very excited to introduce you to Brian Hanson and to Doug Gabrielle, who are both involved with Arts Up LA now, but also are veterans that have decided to have careers in the arts. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about your background in the arts.
Okay. Brian Hanson. I was in the U.S. Army, 3rd Battalion, 75th Ranger Regiment. Did three deployments to Afghanistan. Stationed at Fort Benning, Georgia, but I'm originally from Southern California, San Diego, and LA. So actually, I joined later. I already had a head start in the entertainment industry. I know we'll talk about it later. We had the honor of bartending at the Playboy Mansion for many years in the aughts, and I bartended all around town. I went to film school, Cal State Northridge. So I was already pursuing the filmmaking path, but just watching the daily news, the global war on terror, things are going on in Afghanistan and Iraq, and pouring drinks and just having, a great old time, making my short films, writing my screenplays. It became clear to me that if I wanted to, it was on a bucket list. It was like on my life resume, I needed to serve my country in the military. I have a history family. So I said, it's now or never. You got to do it. LA will be here when you get back. So I enlisted. And off I went. I came back and picked up where I left off from.
And you're now a filmmaker?
Yeah, so many things you can do in filmmaking. I've done a lot of them. But yeah, I'm a writer, director, producer now with 2 feature films, a little streaming TV show, a documentary in the works, and of course, the veteran short film project that we're working on. So I've stayed involved with, here I'm wearing here, Veterans Media Entertainment, a nonprofit that is, as the name says, it's a great nonprofit organization that links and builds a network and opportunities for veterans, military veterans that would like to pursue a career in media and entertainment. So I've stayed fully involved in it. I guess my military experience was a bit of a halftime show in my entertainment journey.
Awesome. We'll talk more about all of that stuff. Doug, tell us a little bit about yourself and your background, both in the arts and in the military.
Military came before anything professional in the arts. I did stuff in school, of course, and that sort of thing, and knew that I had 2 passions in life. One was flying airplanes, and the other one was theater. And so I did flying. I was a charter pilot and flight instructor for a number of years and wound up doing public relations for Piper Aircraft, that sort of thing. And my mom was dead set against my going into theater because she was afraid I would starve. Trust me, that hasn't happened. But I knew at some point I would start pursuing theater, and after she passed, I figured it was my turn. And so about 35 years ago now, I started pursuing acting, and down in San Diego initially. I've done some camera work, but I've been focused primarily on stage and loving the living daylights out of it. And 35 years now, I'm still at it, and pretty cool. As far as my military service is concerned, I enlisted in the Army in 1967. I'm old, and served first in Germany and then in Vietnam. I was with 1st Battalion, 50th Mechanized Infantry in 2 Corps, and it was interesting. I don't know if you had the same euphemisms we did. It may have just been my battalion, but interesting meant scary, and fascinating meant terrifying. So it was generally interesting, but every once in a while it became fascinating.
Well, so I'd like to talk a little bit, if you guys are both okay with that, about your experiences in the military real quick. Doug, you're obviously talking a little bit about it right now. Were you drafted? Did you?
I enlisted.
You enlisted, okay.
Yeah, it was. I got through about a year and a half of college and ran out of money. And so I figured GI Bill. I knew I was going to serve at some point in any event, keeping in mind that there was still a draft back then. And it was funny, I was already out of the military when they started doing the lottery numbers attached to your birth date. My birth date came up 8. So it's just as well I served when I did. But it was, the Germany part was pretty cool. But and Vietnam, obviously, there were issues. I mean, I'm 70% service connected for PTSD, so obviously there are issues there. But actually, directing the Veterans Empowerment Theater show summer before last, the Letters Project that we did.
Behind you right there, yeah.
It's a true thing.
It's a great show.
It was tremendously helpful to me because there were a lot of hot buttons that got touched on that I then dealt with that I had not dealt with.
And so you carry a lot of that with you through the war, and is it difficult to talk about?
It's still difficult to talk about. When I was being interviewed by social workers with regard to the PTSD, and that came around the time of Letters, there were a couple of incidents in particular where I just broke down in tears, and I had to, they had to wait for me to get my act together to finish talking to them. And that's part of the package. The interesting thing is I wouldn't change having served. I like how I turned out as a man. And the military was a big part of that, even though it was only 3 years of my life. And I don't know who I would be or what I would be if I had not served.
Wow. Doug, we're appreciative of you, and we're so glad to have you as part of the organization too. So
I'm thrilled to be here.
Yeah. Great. So Brian, totally different.
I guess I picked up the baton 40 years later ish.
Sounds right.
I just did one enlistment as well, so just under 4 years, and our job in the 75th Ranger Regiment is a special operations unit. We predominantly did night raids, high value
in Afghanistan during
high value targets.
What years were you there? Like what?
I was in 2010 to 2014. My deployments were between 2011 and the very end of 2013. Okay. Our deployments were much shorter, but we went every year. That's kind of the tempo for special operations. So we went for about 3.5-4 months. I know some special operations units do about 6 months, but it's a constant rotation. So you always know you're going back, and there's a very regimented training cycle. It's almost like a sports season. You just reporting for spring training, and now we're going work with the DBs and the linemen, and then you start to come together as now we're doing 7-on-7. Now then you kind of get to 11-on-11, and this is what a training cycle is with an infantry company. In platoon, you work first like very small, just your squad, then platoon. Ranges and live fires, and then at the end you're incorporating the entire company and air assets and everything, and it's all on a perfect schedule that's like, and then as soon as we kind of do that stuff, we deploy. So it's really predictable. And I didn't have the experience, and I admire when you hear these guys, especially early on, that did, my God, year to 15-month deployments. Like, I don't know that experience. And another thing, we went out at night. We went out at night with the entire budget and force of the DOD or SOCOM behind us. So we really felt well equipped, and we had all the advantages. It doesn't mean that everything went right all the time, but I rarely saw Afghanistan during the daytime. We worked at night. We slept during the day, but something, you bring up Vietnam. I think so much of what we did was pretty similar. It's an insurgency. We were fighting an insurgency.
Exactly.
You guys faced regular army with the NVA. That wasn't the case in Afghanistan. It was really an insurgency. But when we, went on these raids and cleared through villages, and quite often you're detaining and arresting these people and interrogating, and you're separating the women in the middle of the night with the kids over here, and you've got the men, the MAMs, the military-age men over here, and people are crying and screaming and distraught, and you're flipping the compound, sensitive, looking for whatever you came to find, or the guys. I think of like Platoon or the documentaries, and I'm like, my God, we're doing the same thing.
I would guess post-Korean War, it's all been insurgencies in one sense or another. As an example, we had a convoy that we were taking supplies to a fire base for artillery, and you have 2 Jeeps in front with M60s mounted on them, rifle caliber machine guns, and 2 more at the back and trucks in between. And we were coming up on this village, and usually the kids would come running out because we would throw them candy, and they knew that. The one exception being the Hershey bars, because they were tropical Hershey bars. They had no moisture in them at all. It was like biting into cocoa. And so we called them gorilla bars. And if we threw those, they threw them back.
They knew.
Yeah. And
Don't give me the cheap stuff.
yeah, exactly.
The good stuff.
So that was fun. But we went through this one time, no kids. And there were 2 kids over by some foliage at the far end of the village. So we stopped everything and we went through the village. And Papa San had set his own kids up with a claymore mine to set off when the trucks were going by. And the thing was, they were close enough to it that the backblast would have killed his own kids. Very difficult to deal with that kind of thing. We took the claymore mine away, we gave the kids some candy, and we drove on. But it's a tough
these
set of decisions
that you guys have. They must be so intense and ingrained in your memories too. And so when you come back to life,
this was 55 years ago.
Well, especially like life post-military, right, where you have to kind of turn that off, and but you still carry those memories with you, and I think that they part of who you are now. And real quick, I want to touch on Brian and I worked at the Playboy Mansion for years and years and years, and had a lot of fun there for sure. But in the middle of it, Brian's like, "Yeah, guys, I think I'm going to stop for a while. I'm going to go be an Army Ranger." And we're like, "Oh, that's amazing." But he told me a story about one of his like COs or something like that was like called him in to do the office and was like, "Wait. You were a bartender at the Playboy Mansion, and you're doing this now?" To go tell that little quick story.
Well, it happened from basic training to RASP, to when I was in my finally Alpha Company, 3rd Battalion, and it was, you know, I joined. I was as old as the PLs, you know, and word would get out. Wait, we got a guy that worked at the Playboy Mansion or in basic training, you know, drill sergeant. Like, oh wait, I just heard
that news goes pretty quickly.
Yeah, you know, and they'd be like, Hanson, they need you in the office. And I hadn't even been there long enough to even screw up, you know. And I'm just like, okay. So I would walk in there, and you like 3 drill sergeants or the platoon sergeant, the PL, or even the CO and the first sergeant. And they're just like, kind of have a halfway serious look on their face, like, so you bartend at the Playboy Mansion? It's like, oh gosh, I got used to it. Pretty soon I started to suspect. I think that's why they're calling me into the office. It's like, so you met Hefner? It's like, and then everyone knew I'm not the baseball stat guy. There's people who just know stats, and I never really knew the playmates. I didn't know them by year or by month, and these guys would. They'd be like, so you met, like, you knew, like, Miss September, like 2007? And it's like,
Like, can you show me a picture?
yeah, I'm like, I probably served her, you know. I was there when they were doing the Girls Next Door, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
But no, it was always funny and gave me a little ability to connect on another level in a place where, you know, I was E4 just coming in, like, just shut up and do your job. And these guys are so many ranks ahead of you. You almost have no business talking to them. And that was like a little. It was a little.
It's a nice icebreaker for sure, right? Yeah. Okay, well, now I'd love to talk a little bit about your experiences in the arts, though. So, Doug, we talked a little bit about it. You were in San Diego for a number of years. This is obviously post-military.
Right. Oh, way post-military. I did my flying and so forth for about 15 years. I've flown over 5,000 hours and was manager of press relations for Piper Aircraft, worked for a marketing agency in the New York area, had Falcon Jet, Fairchild Space and Electronics, and other clients like that.
But then you got into theater,
right?
And started in San Diego, and then you came up to LA, obviously, at some point. And then I know you from Sacred Fools. We have this direct connection to Sacred Fools through one of our board members, and we've actually got a number of wonderful Sacred Fools staff and design team artists that are working for us now. We love all of you. So tell us a little bit about kind of what brought you over to Arts Up LA and what your experience has been like in Arts Up LA and Veterans Empowerment Theater.
Well, I've done acting through most of it, but I've also done lighting design and other technical things in the theater. I've been technical director of 2 different union houses, one in San Diego and one up here. And
you're our technical director now.
And I'm now your technical director. Right. And it's been terrific. I mean, if I had picked one or the other, I would probably have gone farther, if you will, in that area. But I'm having so much fun, I don't care. It's never been about getting famous. It's, you know, it just, I've done a lot of musicals. I've done a lot of Shakespeare. I've done my share of modern plays as well. And I've done some camera work along the way. But my focus has always been on stage, because the one thing in the military that was emotionally satisfying was the camaraderie. And, especially in a combat situation where everybody has a common goal, try and get everybody home in one piece if you can. And you wind up coming closer to people than you normally would, and it's like family. And stage is like that. I mean, the intensity is not the same, and the stakes are not as high, but we're all there for one purpose, and that's to make art and put on a show, whatever it happens to be.
There's a real bonding during the theatrical experience.
Oh yes, absolutely.
And so for you, Brian, you obviously and I'm sure you probably started this before you even went off to serve, but you knew at a young age that you wanted to get into film, and went to college for it and all of that stuff. And so tell me a little bit about kind of how that experience has evolved for you, and you know how it kind of loops into your experience as a veteran too.
Mine was pretty common start. I just loved movies. My friends and I would go to movies, talk about movies. Then we got the video cameras and started making little short films. And my dad always was like challenging me to watch, more thoughtful, esoteric films like 2001, Apocalypse Now, big Twilight Zone things. And when I, in my more teenage years, found David Lynch, I was like, oh, I get this. So just an interest in it that really never let go. I played sports, I loved history, all these different things, but movies just, there was like I don't know, I guess when someone goes further, like play college sports or even pros, they just know they can do it. They feel it. Or a musician, I'm seeing, instruments in this room. There's like, oh, I'm a hobbyist, I'm kind of good at it. But then you're like, no, I know why they did what they did. Even if I can't do it, I know why they did it. You almost feel it in your bones and it doesn't go away. But it was a field trip, actually, a high school field trip up here to watch a talk show. I don't remember what it was. And I just seeing the set and the lights and the operation, we just were in the audience watching. I was like, oh, this is a job. It went from this sort of magical thing that they just kind of get made to, oh, wait, this is a job. Like, people are working. You can do this for real. And then it clicked. Oh, you could set your course to go get in this industry.
Yeah, there's a lot going on behind the scenes, right? That's the thing that, I mean, you see this stuff. It's unbelievable how many people are working on these.
It made it real and directional. Like, oh, you can go to this place and follow these steps and get in. I didn't know where I would get in. So I decided to go to film school and I ended up at Cal State Northridge up here in LA. Great film program, making tons of short films, directing everything, working as a PA, an assistant, everything, on big studio shows, and really getting ingrained in that world. And that's actually when I joined the Army, the structure of a film crew, I had a familiarity already with the military. I was like, oh, I get it. I get that there's different departments, your camera department, your lighting department, your sound department, your costumes, your production designers, AD department. And it really matches quite closely to the way the military is built, and that camaraderie that you talk about. I felt it. It's like you're fighting. You have a mission to complete the day. You're fighting the environment. You're fighting time. You're fighting endless challenges and the sun, the terrain where you're at. So it felt oddly familiar already getting into the military. And when I came back after my service, I even had that feeling more. I was like, oh, I can one for one tell you, like, what section in the military that is to what department that is and the whole hierarchy of things. So
it's like that training really kind of fed into your, from your experience in the military to what your profession would be.
And what the military gave me, I think I was much more artistically inclined, and the passion, bartending, writing scripts, making short films. But going into the military as enlisted, even with a college degree, that repetition, that drilling over and over and over, and learn this thing until you just can do it with your eyes closed. You can apply that to writing. You can apply that to editing. Obviously, camera, everything. I came back, I think, with a firmer sense of really working at all the little things to level up, because there's a little bit of, I call it the Tarantino lottery ticket thing, where everyone thinks, well, I'm just going to write a good short screenplay or a feature screenplay and make a great short, and I'll be like Tarantino and just go in all the big festivals and then be making my Reservoir Dogs immediately. It's like, no, that's not how it happens. There
really aren't any shortcuts.
You're going to put in the same time it takes to become a first sergeant.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to be putting in a decade and working your way up every 2 years, seeing a little incremental, improvement or promotion, if you will. So it gave me this isn't the Tarantino lottery. This is just get in the trenches, start digging. So I went back to film school. God bless the GI Bill. To St. Mary's University that had just started an MFA film program. my goal was to make my first feature, but how can I take every class and every little step to build up to it? And I ended up, I was also PAing on HBO shows. I was willing to do both. I was willing to go be a private again, but also trying to command my own,
director and a
independent film. And I think that dual track is important.
So now is a great time to segue into a couple of projects that we've got going on here at Arts Up LA that are veterans related. We have the Veterans Short Film Project. So let's just talk real briefly about that. We are a good ways into it now, but why don't you just tell us kind of a little bit about where we're at? You and I have been basically kind of leading this project, but I've really leaned on your expertise a lot for it. So tell us a little bit about where we're at with it.
Well, the Veteran Short Film Project, you said, hey, I'm in LA, I do all this theater stuff, let's do something with movies. And again, through my experience with Veterans Media Entertainment, the Writers Guild Foundation Veteran Writing Project, and USVAA, I've seen a lot of these programs, be they writing or short film projects. So we've built this great thing where it's our first year where we're looking for a writer who would write a short film that the next phase we're going to go produce. We're going to go make this short film. So, we whittled it down to 10 writers, veteran writers who were really good. We weren't looking for guys writing TV shows already, and we didn't want first timers. We wanted kind of people sort of in the sophomore, junior year of their writing arc, and they really want to step up and do something different. So we got 10 great writers. We chose one.
We had people apply, writers from all over the country. We had tons of applications for it, and out of those we selected 10 that were going to go through a writing workshop intensive. So it was a 6-week writing workshop where they were each paired up with a mentor that was a professional in the industry. They were, and then every week we had a guest speaker that would come in and talk about different aspects of film production and film writing. Yeah,
it was fantastic. And we now, Alan Adkins, we chose his script, Breaking Up.
Yep.
Really cool. We look forward to everyone. We don't want to give it no spoilers. We'll wait till you get to watch it.
But things are moving now.
Yeah, things are moving. So now we're going through revisions with Alan, and we're moving forward in the coming months to shooting it. And we really are aiming high with this one.
We will be looking for crew, director, supporters for the Veteran Short Film Project actual production coming up here. So if you are in the industry, please reach out to us at vet@artsupla.org. We are very interested in expanding our community and in all of the experts out there that are veterans that are breaking into the industry. Next, I want to talk real briefly about the Letters Project, which we have just started again. We did the first one about 1.5 years ago. And that was the premier one. We actually used Chapman University as a great resource for that to gather letters. And we're now in the point where we are gathering letters for the Letters Project. So if you or a family member of yours has letters that were written during wartime, they might be in a box in a closet somewhere or an attic, or there could be emails and more recent ones, please send them to us at contact@returningsoldierspeak.org. But I want to talk a little bit with Doug, who was the director of the Premier Letters Project. So tell us a little bit about that experience and what it meant to you.
Oh my gosh. It's a remarkable thing. Chapman University has over 300,000 letters in their archive that are between families and deployed military. And some of them dating back as far as the Civil War. And we took 10 writers who were going through veterans who were going through a Veterans Writers Project. And they would go through in the archives and find a letter that spoke to them and write a 10-minute play based on that letter. So we had these 10 stories that we told with 9 actors playing 34 different roles. And it was a remarkable evening. Several of the actors were veterans. We did not have enough veterans to fully populate the cast, but we had remarkable people. And for me personally, it was an experience that that really helped me open up a bit and come to grips with my own experience in the military. And directing it was exciting, and we as a cast bonded in a way that you normally don't see. It was really incredible.
Yeah, it was really beautiful watching the different pieces be woven together, and there were these universal truths that didn't matter really which war it came from. You still had these experiences of missing home, missing your loved ones, missing like the some themes that kept coming up were just that home cooking, right? Like how much that home cooking means to a soldier abroad. So we're really excited to embark on another one of these journeys with the Letters Project. And so I want to thank both of you for your service. Veterans Day is coming up here. It's been an honor working with both of you, and I look forward to all these creations that we're going to be coming up in the future here.
Thank you for the opportunity, and thanks for everything you're doing for veterans.
It's truly appreciated.
Amazing.
Community calendar for November. First up, Short and Sweet Hollywood, a 10-minute play festival at the Victory Theatre from Friday, October 17th till November 23rd, 2025. Check them out. They're incredible. Next up, a live puppetry slam produced by Joyce Hutter, who is a very, very dear member of the family here at Arts of LA. Saturday, November 8th at 8 p.m. at the Blue Door Theater. An evening of puppetry mayhem. Come check it out. It's so much fun. And on November 22nd, Catharsis Theatre in Los Angeles and beyond. Group grief workshops and creative healing gatherings. Founded by Brian Steffen, Catharsis Theatre is where stories, yours, ours, and all of ours take the stage. It's a living space for release, insight, and renewal right here at the Blue Door Theatre.
Now is the time to also help support us here at Arts Up LA and the Blue Door. We survive on donations and support from people just like you. And if you are feeling extra giving this year, go into the description box below and you will find a place where you can help support Arts Up LA.
If you can't do that, subscribe. Keep in touch. Come see our shows.
Give us a thumbs up. Give us a comment. All of that stuff is important.
That's it. Thank you so much for watching the November episode of What's Up LA. Thank you for being a part of our community and for supporting the independent arts in Los Angeles. That's it. Until next time, I'm Nina Rancel.
I'm Brian Caldwell.
And that's What's Up.